Before, Aaron Rodgers meeting with the Jets. Ian just mentioned he could walk away from $60 million with the Packers, or he could talk to the Packers about trading him to New York. What would an Aaron Rodgers addition at the quarterback spot mean for Robert Saleh and what he has built with the Jets, Kyle?
It'll be a lightning bolt, and it's correcting a great shame around the Jets organization. Let's just bring it up. This is just a fact. This is not me opining. This is not me soapboxing. Here's the facts, guys. Longest in the damn world. 12 years. Nearly twice as long as any other team. Literally twice as long as the Detroit Lions, who have been woebegone many years. They have not made the playoffs in 12 years. You guys want to get into this? You want to hear some things going on in the world when the Jets last made the playoffs?
Let's do it.
You want to hear it? We always love this device.
I do.
Cam Newton was winning the Heisman Trophy when the Jets made the playoffs. Tablets were introduced. I don't know if those are going to catch on. Jim Tressel is resigning at Ohio State for the tattoo parlor scandal. You're an Ohio guy, remember that? Yeah, and there's this weird, self-indulgent, vain app being introduced called Instagram. Since the advent of Instagram is when the Jets last made the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers has to end that immediately. But to do that, of course, most likely, and have to go through these guys. There's something very funny about you and about some of the other Bills. So yesterday we were talking about Rodgers joining the Jets. Oh my God, that's going to be crazy. And you're like, yeah, we'll see what we do. I asked Josh about this about a month ago. What about Aaron Rodgers joining your division? And he's like, yeah, just another great quarterback adding our division. I can't get any kind of excitement or rise out of you at all, even though maybe the baddest man to ever live in the NFL will be your new neighbor playing you twice a year. That's what it means to me. What does it mean to you?
Playing against him is going to be tough. And we talked about this yesterday. Yeah. It's going to be very tough. I get that, seeing him 2 times a year and knowing what he's capable of doing. But I'm going to see how many times on this show I can say confidence.
That's it.
And there's one. There's one. And this, when Aaron Rodgers steps in that locker room with the Jets, if it happens, he's going to give the whole team confidence. They're all going to get better because of it.
Yep.
Defensively, they're a very good team. And they have weapons on offense. So once he steps in the room, it's going to give all them confidence. And that's a dangerous thing.
You know what I like about you, Micah? When you talk about this, you did this yesterday, you say it in the present tense. You say it's going to be tough to play him twice a year. It's it kind of trips you up when you hear it that way. It really makes you like, this is a reality.
No, it is a reality. The other reality is, and I mean this respectfully, they did beat you guys last year.
They did.
You didn't play in the game. How did they do that? Zach Wilson was the quarterback. They beat you. How did that happen? You guys were way better.
It all comes down to taking care of the football. You take care of the football, and they play to their defense. Their defense is very, very good.
Is it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. They're hungry. They're hungry. They just added another key piece yesterday with Chuck Clark.
Yep.
That's a huge addition. Yeah. Just knowing from the safety position and knowing what he's able to do, the way he moves around on the defense, and the way the Ravens were able to give different looks and all that type of stuff. That's a key addition. So they have a very good defense, and that's how they beat us last year.
That was Josh's worst game.
He didn't play.
And it really was.
He was on
it started off fine, and then all of a sudden it just fell apart. He had a couple interceptions he threw, and I think he talked about it afterwards, like, I don't really know what I was doing there.
Crap. That was his quote.
Yeah. And that was also the game he hurt his elbow.
Right.
What do you think, Mike?
About Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, but Rodgers joining, what would it mean?
I think it puts a lot of pressure on the Jets, finally.
Pressure?
Yeah, absolutely, because you make this trade, first of all, you're going to have to give up assets, whether that's a first, whether it's a bunch of picks, seconds and thirds, whatever. But they haven't been this team, I can't even remember when. Rex Ryan, I guess, 2010, 2011, and their quarterback then was Mark Sanchez. And maybe Mark Sanchez is the best quarterback they've had in the last 13, 14 years, and he was a 53, 54% passer.
Dude, I think it was Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, you're right.
I think he's the best they've had.
Right.
And Fitz is Fitz.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Fitz is 30 touchdowns and 20 interceptions. That kind of fits. So to me, bringing Rodgers in changes the entire conversation. It goes from not like, hey, maybe we can sneak into the playoffs. No. If you trade for Aaron Rodgers, now you need to be talking about one thing. You need to be talking about winning a Lombardi. Because he's at the end of his career, in theory, right? I mean, unless he's going to pull a Brady and play till he's 45. So it's on the table for them now. You got to deliver, and it's Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, you're on the clock too, because if you don't win with this guy, you're not going to be coaching him.
Yep. The pressure is mounting for Saleh, as Kyle, you said it yesterday. 3rd year at the helm of this Jets team, and what can he do with that? Kyle, putting you in the spot here, you use this phrase a lot, and I want to apply it here. I want to borrow it from you for today.
Go right
when
ahead.
you say electric factory, what does that mean to you?
I think that if Rodgers lands in the Jets, you're going to start seeing Super Bowl all the time. They're going to look like the young Bengals team that got there with Burrow. You talked about how good the defense is. The offense is great, and they have, in my opinion, the best quarterback to ever play. Like, the expectation will be like the Jets can win the Super Bowl if they get Rodgers.
The electric factory experience, I think, the ripple effect that, like, what happens in New York in football, the country feels it. So, like, if he arrives from a media perspective, and people are taking this, the interpretation of it is like he won't be able to handle it. It's going to be insane. He's a bright guy. I think he can handle whatever. He does some of this stuff on purpose. I think he's intentional with what he says, how often he says things, where he says the things. I mean, that podcast he went on after his darkness retreat was with the guy that created the concept of the darkness retreat. Like, he knows what he's doing. So Electric Factory, for all of us in the experience, we roll our eyes sometimes if we have to start our show with the Jets. Like, no, we're going to start our show with the Jets because that will be the thing that you must talk about next regular season. And as an experience, as a football fan, for anybody, you're going to want to tune in. I think it's a blessing for us all.
Does anyone worry that what we saw from him last year was the beginning, not the cliff, because he's too good to go off the cliff. Like, we had that conversation with Brady for like 10 years. The cliff is coming, and then the cliff never came. It may be a gradual decline, but do you wonder if last year was the start of Aaron Rodgers isn't this superpower anymore, that he's still very good, but he's not that guy?
Yeah. I don't, Micah, do you?
Same thing what you just said about Tom Brady. They were saying we were playing Tom way back in 2017, 18. They were saying he was done. He's winning the Super Bowl still.
Yeah.
That's just the type of player he is, and I think Aaron's just like that also. He's gonna go out there. He's gonna compete. He's gonna make a name for himself here in New York if it were to happen. And I have no doubt in my mind about that.
I sense a schism at the table on that side about one topic: Rodgers being put into the New York media. You're part of the media, you're a player. There's this sense of like, they'll eat him alive if things go wrong. Micah, how do you feel about Rodgers sitting down in front of the New York media? And then, Mike, we got to hear from you, too. What do you think?
Obviously, I haven't been, I'm in Buffalo. I'm in Western New York media, which isn't, downtown New York City media. I get that. But he's, like you said, he's a smart guy. He's been in this league a long time. There's nothing that you could ask him or come up to him with and him not understand how to answer the question. I'm convinced he's seen it all. And he's a very intelligent guy. So I don't think that's going to be an issue at all.
I think he likes to spar.
Okay.
And I think he does, and maybe it's correct, I don't know. Maybe he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room at all times. and he might be. I'm not
sure.
I've never sat down with him and had a discussion. We haven't hung out, But I wonder if you take that tack with the New York media, if some of those guys don't decide to take you on.
Sure.
And as I said about Green Bay, nobody really wants to cross Aaron in Green Bay because he's the franchise quarterback and he's the guy. Everybody's wearing his jersey.
Okay.
I think the Green Bay media tends to side with Aaron Rodgers. And even with some of the stuff that's gone on in the last year, which, I think he's held them hostage at various points, the franchise, that the media has been easy on him locally. Nationally, different story. Locally, they've been easy on him. I don't think they'll be easy on him here. And I think the first time he decides to take on a columnist or a radio host, then that's going to become a thing. And for the columnist and the radio host, oh, by the way, it's good business for them, right? It is. More people are going to read. More people are going to look at the clicks. More people are going to listen to the radio. What's his take on Aaron Rodgers today? Aaron Rodgers had a bad game. I got to hear what so-and-so has to say. And I don't think that was the case in Green Bay.
What does Aaron Rodgers have to prove? You know what I'm saying? Like him coming to New York, I get it. It's a new team and it's a big market, but he's Aaron Rodgers. Like, what does he have to prove? He can come here and in my mind, as a player, he can come here and he can play free around a well-coached team and with a lot of weapons around it.
I don't think he can. I think when he comes here.
What's up with your doubting on Rodgers?
No, I'm not.
No, it's the New York media machine.
It's the media machine.
If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Like you ain't done squat here. That's the Sinatra.
But he's got guys, for as awesome as he's been, he's got one Super Bowl. He comes here, they're expecting a Super Bowl. You don't deliver a Super Bowl, then that trade's a fail. That's how it's going to be looked at. Can he do it? To your point, their defense is awesome. I thought they have a top 5 defense, top 6 defense, and they have pieces on offense. You get the running back. Everything is healthy. You're in a good place, but then it'll take some time to work the guys the way he wants to. He's just like Brady. He wants receivers to be in a certain place at a certain time. Sometimes that can take a little while. He might throw an interception for a pick 6 against the Buffalo Bills and throw his helmet because
I hope so.
receiver X is in the wrong place, right? So I'm really curious to see how that plays out because I really do think there's going to be a ton of pressure on him, most importantly.
Michael, let me ask this quickly. Could there be a case here where Rodgers, Nathaniel Hackett is now with the Jets. Like, at some point, maybe he's like, I want to go back with my guy. I want to hit the easy button. That man knows me. He knows my strengths. He knows what I need, how to put wide receivers, the offense, into the best position for me to do well. Is there like an easy button prospect here for Rodgers? Just like, I don't want to fight this anymore in Green Bay. They got to figure their stuff out.
I think that maybe the relationship just throughout the year just kind of been tarnished a little bit. And I feel like also when you come to a new organization, it's never easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. You have to go through training camp. You have to go, early in the season with high expectations. You're going to get hit in the mouth a few times, and it's about dealing with adversity.
Yeah.
And so as a team, you have to get through it. It's never easy. This league, each and every week, we were talking about this yesterday, each and every week is a challenge in the NFL. You never know what's going to be, injuries are going to happen, who's going to have to step in, and you're playing, the number 1 rated team. It's just a lot of stuff. So it's just difficult. So I don't. It's never easy, but
It's never easy.
Yeah, it's never easy.
No
It comes
easy
down to
button.
confidence.
It does.
Confidence.
Number 2.
Does he want to go to
Free agency
OTAs?
frenzy begins.